Alright, another transformation you may see on the coordinate plane is what we call a dilation. Now, if you think about the word dilation, you're probably thinking of going to the eye doctor and maybe getting your eyes dilated. And that's exactly what a dilation is. When they dilate your eyes, they widen your pupils so they can see inside of your eye. Well, that widening or making your pupil bigger, that is what's called a dilation. And now dilations aren't only bigger, but they also get smaller. So what it's doing is it's changing the size of the actual object. We're going to be using scale factor here. Remember, scale factor is what you multiply something by to make it either bigger or smaller with an enlargement or reduction. So here we have a scale factor of 2 and I have my original shape. Now since my scale factor is bigger than 1, that means this is going to be an enlargement. So I know my shape is getting bigger. If you take a look at our motion rule right over here, you can see that I take my x coordinates and I multiply them by 2, and I take my y coordinates and I multiply them by 2. So let's look at point F right here. Well, I start off at 5, 1, and I'm going to dilate it by a scale factor of 2, so I take 5 times 2, and that's 10. I take my 1 times 2, and that is 2. So my new point should be 10, 2 right here. So let's go ahead and take a look at our dilation, and let's see what we look like. Well, I got my f prime. Let's take a look at our coordinates. So here we see f. I went 5, 1 to 10, 2. So we nailed it with our dilation according to the motion rule. And if you look at everything else, 8 to 16, 1 to 2, 8 to 16, 3 to 6, 5 to 10, 3 to 6. So all we're doing on a dilation, in this case, since our scale factor is 2, is we're taking our coordinates and multiplying both of them by our scale factor. So that's an enlargement. Let's take a look at a reduction here. Here our scale factor is 1/2 or 0.5. So I already know my scale factor is less than 1, so my shape should be getting smaller than its original shape. If we look at our motion rule, I times both of these by 0.5. So let's take a look at one of our points. I'm going to take a look at point C. Point C is at the coordinates 4, -2. So I want to say, okay, I'm going to multiply this by a scale factor of 1/2. So that means my new coordinates should be 2 and -1. So I'm going to go ahead and plot that out here at 2, -1. And let's see if this works out. Let's see what happens. Alright, so we got our new point C right there. We got our motion rule, did us right. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of the other coordinates and see what happened. 4 to 2, 2 to 1. That's the one we did. Here's 7 to 3.5, -2 to -1 again. So if you notice, all of our coordinates here were multiplied by 1/2 or 0.5, and that's how we create our new image. So that's your dilations. Key things to remember: a reduction, you have a scale factor less than 1, enlargement, scale factor greater than 1, and then the motion rule, all you're doing is multiplying that scale factor times each coordinate.